So good evening and thank you for waiting for this press meet. I was good evening once again and thank you for coming for this press meet. I was here this morning and went over to Mara Autonomous Region. Had a very good meeting there. It was a public meeting, well attended. And after that, we met up with the community leaders, church leaders, some NGOs and some student organizations. So we discussed with them about what has been promised in our Sankalp Patra, which is our manifesto. And they also had some representations to give it to me. I have received them, but obviously because it's election time, even if I work on them, I can't really progress, announce or state anything of that because of the model code of conduct. I did tell them that, and after the conclusion I had very well cooked home food along with everybody. It was really a pleasure to have fresh vegetables cooked and served. Very hospitable people. So from there I've come here. Instead of there, of course, one or two things which I'll highlight and leave it there for you all to then ask me anything that you have. I did very clearly highlight the fact that Northeast is Prime Minister Modi's priority, and in the last 10 years he himself has come 65 times to the Northeast. And all of us ministers, each one carrying a department's responsibility, but also looking at Northeast, also having to become fairly speedily developed so that the youth of Northeast get all the opportunities. 850 times. 850 times ministers have come here. Various department ministers have come here for the last 10 years. Also the way in which execution of projects have happened, I highlighted the amounts which have been given. Also showed the difference between these 10 years between 2014 to now and the 10 years before 14, how much was devolved in the name of tax and how much was devolved in the name of grants to Mizoram in particular, and how much has actually been as a difference made. 1 minute, I can give that figure to you too. Sorry, I'm taking a bit of a time. Yeah. In the name of tax devolution, for 10 years before Prime Minister Modi, there was about 4,734 crores given between 2004 and 14. 4734. Whereas now between 14 and 24, up to 31st March 2024, 32,823 crores have been given for Mizoram under tax devolution.
That can be repeated?
Yes. Earlier 10 years, 4734. 2014 to 24, 32,823 crores. 32,823 crores. Now among again, grants which are given to states. 2004 to 14, 21,358 crores was given. 2004 to 14, before Prime Minister Modi. Then between 14 to 24, the grants which have been given to Mizoram 43,101 crores. So you see in the tax devolution a 7 times increase and a 102% increase, which is 2 times increase in the grants which have been given. Over and above this, not recommended by Finance Commission but on Prime Minister's own initiative, because post-COVID he wanted all states to spend money on capital asset creation so that will create jobs, assets will be created for states, and that is an interest-free 50-year loan. After 50 years, what that money will be, anyone can guess. But what was given to Mizoram in the years between 2020-21, post-COVID, 21-22, 22-23, 23-24 is 1,450 crores. And therefore, you see that Mizoram, post Prime Minister Modi and post the current prevailing Finance Commission's recommendation, has actually gained in terms of resources. Now, over and above this is the kind of devolution which happens under the GST. The GST devolution, which is one nation, one tax, annual monthly collections have reached an annual, on a monthly basis, monthly collection has reached an average of 1,70,000 crores. And that, there are 3 layers to it I want you all to kindly understand. The layer that is state GST, SGST, 100% what is collected goes to the state. The middle layer where it is export revenue, interstate revenue, IGST, goes 50-50, 50 to center, 50 to state. And the CGST, which is central GST, goes as per the Finance Commission's provision. So state gets even from that also. So the GST has actually, particularly for the northeastern states, has been of immense benefit, because northeastern states are largely consuming states as different from producing states like industrialized kind of states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and so on. So I just want, then in the meeting I also made sure that I told for that district how much of each of PM's programs has actually touched people. So CR district alone, how many Awas Yojana houses have been given, how many Jal Jeevan Mission pipes have gone to homes to give water, how many people have been covered under PM Ayushman Bharat, how many people get covered under the free food program, which is the PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, how many of them have been covered under other insurances, and so on. So I gave the full detail, explained to them that whether a state has BJP government or not, Prime Minister Modi has made sure that all welfare schemes reach people and reach the bottommost layer in particular. So I proved with data there, and because that was also covered by media, I don't want to repeat here. You can always take the data. With that I'll stop, and of course whatever you have to ask me.
My first question is like,
please introduce yourself.
okay, my name is Isaac, I'm from All India Radio Aizol. So thanks to the party that you have made you have put in the manifesto that to maintain peace in the Northeast. So my question is like the previous government, the government have, even the Chief Minister, the former Chief Minister himself have claimed that around 3,500 crores have been due from the center, so for the development of the state. So if like despite the MNF is being in partner with the BJP in the NDA, so if BJP didn't come to power this time, I mean like if BJP candidate is not elected, so will the developmental funds will the developmental funds come from the center again this time?
I want to say one thing here. You've just thrown a number saying the previous Chief Minister has said it, or previous government people have said it.
Yes.
That 3,000 crores are
Around
due.
3,000,
around due 3,000 crores are due for Mizoram. I don't know where that numbers come from. I don't know what that number is standing for. So unless I know the details, I won't be able to extend an answer for that. That's to me very speculative number. I don't know where they've derived it from.
Good evening, ma'am. Anup from ANI. I want to ask you one question. I met with a lot of Mizo people. They are saying still connectivity is one of the major problems in Mizoram. Better highways, they need an interstate connectivity, metro connectivities and better health services. These are the main issues. When can be the connectivity matter sorted out? Aizawl railway station is still under construction.
100%. Mizoram is a state with a typical topography like many other states in the northeast. Movement of people will have to be facilitated. That is why since 2014, the speed with which highways are getting constructed, the speed with which for the first time northeast gets double gauge railways. For the first time Nagaland had even a railway station which they had not seen earlier. So the emphasis, and I think about 900 kilometers of highways have been given during these last 10 years for Mizoram. So there are lots of steps being taken on infrastructure development and also for better medical facility, telemedicine, building of Ayush Kendras, general wellness centers have all been established. So it's not to say that's the end of the story. Your question is well taken. Yes, more has to be done for Mizoram, particularly for health and education.
So ma'am, you specifically mentioned about SASKI, that loan, that interest-free loan of 50 years. So you said that 1,450 crores have been given to the Northeast. And in particular in our state, we are very familiar, the people, the public is very familiar with this loan. So like when the government, the previous and this current government, when they do take that loan, like from the center, do you like verify how well it is used, put to use?
After all, the scheme has been launched only from 2020-21, and unless we get the utilization of the first half, the second half will not be released each year. But over and above that, any kind of utilization, verification or audit has not been undertaken. I take your point.
Ma'am, recently the free movement regime has been scrapped. So,
what regime?
Free movement regime has been scrapped between India and Myanmar. So is there any way of formalizing the bilateral trade that will benefit the people from both the countries?
See, first of all, I want you to appreciate that we are in favor of good relationship with each of our neighbors. Despite international understanding of which regime is good, which is not, where is sanction established, with whom some countries should have relationship, some should not. We have maintained good relationship with 99% of our neighbors. Of course, with Pakistan we have a difficulty, that's a different story. But the state of affairs at the moment in Myanmar, being a bit uncertain with some kind of disturbances, it is necessitating our almost like preventive action, just making sure that we don't have any spillover problems in our side. We look forward to having a normal movement of people and goods. We hope that we'll be able to do it at the earliest. Is that it?
Ma'am, I have two questions now. Firstly, today while speaking to ANI, Priyanka Gandhi has said BJP can only win 180 seats in this Lok Sabha election. If they do gadbad in machines, they can win 400 seats, whatever they are saying, they can achieve it.
Did Congress do gadbad in machine to win in Himachal Pradesh? Did Congress do gadbad in Karnataka to win Karnataka State Assembly election? Well, these kind of talk are almost irresponsible. If they win, EVM is fine. If they lose, sorry, somebody is making a mess of EVM. Not becoming of a party which has ruled this country for more than 40 years.
Ma'am, Rahul Gandhi also says that we have given 5 guarantees and 25 things of justice. we will fulfill that if we come into the government. In Karnataka, we have fulfilling the promises we have done. BJP has waived off for 16 lakh crore rupees of 25 people, but didn't waive off any loans of the farmers of India. He also questions about the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Bima Yojana, MSP, and empowerment of women in India.
First of all, Karnataka, if they are fulfilling, why will their deputy chief minister say that he has no money left for developmental work? Because 60,000 crores is going off for these promises. Their own deputy chief minister has said that. Second, if literally they fulfill all their promises, in Rajasthan, they fulfilled the promise of returning to the old pension scheme and not being on the new pension scheme. But why is the National Party, the Indian National Congress, giving a manifesto for Lok Sabha, not including going back to OPS in their national manifesto? Only for winning elections you want promises to be stated. And even as they've claimed so many 5 guarantees, 5 promises, did they say where they'll get the money from? Karnataka, we asked the same question to Karnataka State Congress. They didn't tell us. Now, in the name of implementing those promises with which they won power and won votes and came to power, they are asking Prime Minister Modi to give them money. And because it is not for Prime Minister Modi to give it, they are accusing him, saying, you are against the people of Karnataka, you don't want to give money for us. You gave the promise. We asked you the question even before election, where is the money to fulfill all those promises? And without thinking about it, you went ahead implementing it. Now you want Prime Minister Modi to give money for it? He didn't give that promise. So Congress is notorious in promises that they can't fulfill. They will give and bring a confusion in the mind of the voter. Oh really, are they going to give me 1 lakh in my account? And after that, they'll just throw up their hands and say, we have no money for anything else, people can find their own way. They are today verging on fringe groups which have no clue about how to take this country forward. They like to have Indian people dependent on their doles and largesse. They have no idea about responsible governance, in being inclusive as well.
See ma'am, I think BJP is doing very well coming to the northeast states also, but somehow, even a Christian state like Nagaland, you're having, it's a coalition government, but somehow you're not making that kind of, grabs in Mizoram. Why do you think it's that?
It's not to say that the people are not receptive. They are receptive. They're listening to all parties. It does take time for people to be convinced about intentions and action, and then they come over. Like you did mention the word Christian, and therefore I'm also talking about it. Look at Goa, a completely Christian state, has been with the BJP now for almost 30 years. Earlier it used to be a seesaw. Once it was this, once it was that. A Christian state. So, Nagaland, as you said. So it is not that the BJP is not in favor of one religion or the other. It is in favor of every Indian. And in distributing welfare schemes or bringing projects, it has not shown any discrimination. That is why when I was in Shia, I gave the details of how many people, even in that far-flung region, have benefited from those schemes. It takes a while for the people to be convinced. And in the meanwhile, looking at the way in which BJP is now becoming acceptable to all people, this kind of Congress's campaign, which is based on baseless narrative, is perpetrated, creating further confusion. But I'm sure the people will steadily understand this.
Regarding that, ma'am, I have your question. Maybe 8 days ago, or I don't know that maybe 7 days ago, your husband, Mr. Parakala, said that if Prime Minister Modi becomes Prime Minister again in 2024, India will never witness another election process. But you are here in campaigning for BJP. Do you agree that what your husband said?
See, I'm here to answer political questions which have been raised by you all. It's not as if I have to answer this person's or that person's questions. But if I'm coming here to campaign, you yourself in your question is saying that, it's because I believe in the vote the people cast. It's because I believe in India's democracy. It's because even PM himself has said that BJP believes every word of the constitution. So that is the answer I can give.
Any questions from economics, macroeconomics? You want to ask?
Okay.
Ma'am,
Thank you very much.
Ma'am, one question. What if the Indian Finance Minister visited SABHA district or MBDC for her campaign in her maiden visit instead of other places like the state capital or other places? Any particular reasons for that, or can we say that that area is a BJP stronghold in Mizoram?
Well, I go wherever the party and the people want me to go. And I think given the Prime Minister's priority, that we'll have to look at the first villages which link India, not the border last villages. Border villages which are first villages because they are the entry into India. Siang district, CRDS district is literally on the border with Myanmar. And so it is important that we talk to the people even in that area to say what is it that Prime Minister Modi has done in the last 10 years. And I'm grateful indeed to the people of CR district for having, that is the autonomous region, for having supported the BJP, given us 2 MLAs and also given us the council, autonomous council. So yes, I went there because it's the first village to India from Myanmar side, and also because the autonomous council is doing its maximum work with the people. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.